You know what's strange about the world we live in? Everyone wants to be seen, everyone wants to be heard, and everyone wants to tell the world what they're doing before they've even done it. You'll notice it everywhere. People announcing goals before they've even started the first step, showing plans before there's even progress, chasing validation before they've built any value. And you, sitting there, might have done the same. You tell people your dreams, your next big move, your plans, because deep down it feels good when people react. That little hit of excitement when someone says, "Wow, that's amazing," it feeds your motivation for a while. But here's the truth that most people never understand. When you start telling everyone what you do, you start losing the energy to actually do it. You start trading your vision for validation. You start mistaking attention for achievement. And slowly, without realizing it, you hand your power away, not to someone stronger, but to the noise around you. Because every time you speak about what you're going to do, your mind releases a small sense of accomplishment, like you've already achieved something. It tricks you into feeling progress when in reality, nothing's been done yet. That's why you'll notice the loudest people rarely make the biggest moves, because they waste their energy talking instead of building. The most dangerous thing you can do for your dreams is to let them be exposed too early. Dreams are like seeds, fragile, vulnerable, and easily destroyed before they take root. If you plant a seed and then dig it up every day to show it to others, it will never grow. It needs quiet, darkness, patience, and consistency to sprout. That's how your goals work too. The most powerful people in the world, the real movers, are silent workers. They understand that silence protects progress. While others talk, they build. While others show off, they sharpen. While others seek attention, they prepare. And when the time comes, their results speak louder than any announcement could. You see, there's a spiritual strength in silence. When you stop telling people what you do, you stop giving them access to your energy. You stop letting their opinions pollute your purpose. You stop allowing their doubts to seed fear into your focus. Have you ever told someone your plan and felt their reaction drain your excitement? Maybe they didn't even mean to, but a single comment like, "Are you sure you can do that?" or "That sounds risky," can plant a seed of doubt that slowly kills your drive. It's not that people want you to fail. It's that they don't see what you see. They don't feel what you feel. Your vision wasn't given to them. It was given to you. So stop expecting them to understand it. The more you explain your dream to others, the smaller it becomes, because you start shaping it to fit their understanding instead of your calling. Think about it. Some of the most successful people you know didn't announce their every move. They moved in silence, acted consistently, and let the results speak for themselves. When Michael Jordan trained in the off-season, he didn't go around telling people what he was working on. He just showed up next season unstoppable. When Elon Musk was building his companies, he wasn't busy convincing the world. He was busy building what the world said was impossible. Silence doesn't mean weakness. It means power under control. It means you're secure enough not to need applause. You're confident enough to let your actions talk. When you start keeping things to yourself, something magical happens. Your energy consolidates. You stop leaking motivation. You stop wasting words. You start channeling everything into doing, not declaring. And that's when your life starts changing. You wake up with a sharper focus. You work with a deeper calm. You move with a quiet determination that scares people because they can't figure out what you're up to. And that's the point. Let them guess. Let them wonder. Let them underestimate you. Because while they're busy trying to figure you out, you'll be building the version of yourself they'll never see coming. Never forget this. People can't destroy what they don't know exists. The less they know, the safer your vision stays. Protect it like treasure. Keep your process private. Let the results do the talking. When you tell people your next step, you give them the power to influence it, and not everyone deserves that power. Some will doubt you. Some will mock you. Some will pretend to support you just to monitor you. And when you fail, they'll whisper, "I knew it." But when you move in silence and finally succeed, all they'll be able to say is, "How did he do it?" And that's the kind of question you want people asking, not what you're planning, but how you pulled it off. Because silence makes success louder. The world doesn't need to know your every move. It needs to see your every result. So from this moment, make a promise to yourself and stop announcing. Stop explaining. Stop seeking validation. Just work. Build quietly. Evolve privately. Speak through results. Because the truth is, your vision was never meant to be understood by everyone. It was meant to be executed by you. Keep it sacred. Keep it silent. Keep it strong. That's the mindset that separates dreamers from doers, talkers from builders, and noise from legacy. Never tell people what you do. Just show them who you've become because of it. You know, there's something powerful about doing things quietly. The world keeps screaming, show your progress, share your journey, post your results. But silence is where true growth happens. Silence is not empty. It's full of answers. When you stop explaining what you're doing, your focus becomes razor sharp. You no longer waste time defending your ideas, you just build them. You no longer crave approval, you just execute. Think about it. When a seed is planted, it doesn't announce to the world that it's becoming a tree. It grows silently, underground, unseen. But that's where all the real work happens. The roots dig deep before anything rises above the surface. That's exactly what's happening when you keep your goals private. You're growing roots. You're building a foundation so strong that when you finally bloom, no one can uproot you. But when you expose that process too early, when you let too many people in, you invite confusion, doubt, and unnecessary pressure into your journey. Some people won't even mean harm, but their words will linger in your mind. You'll start wondering if you're doing enough, if your dream is realistic, if maybe they're right and you should slow down. And that's how great visions die, not because they were impossible, but because they were exposed too soon. You see, your goals are like a flame. When it's small, a single breeze can blow it out. But if you protect it, if you guard it, long enough, that small flame turns into a fire. And once it becomes fire, no amount of wind can stop it. That's why discipline and privacy go hand in hand. The more disciplined you become, the quieter you get. You stop feeling the need to prove anything to anyone because you know the work you're doing in silence is building a future that will speak for itself. And that's what separates real hustlers from pretenders. Pretenders talk. Hustlers move. Pretenders want recognition. Hustlers want results. Pretenders want likes. Hustlers want legacy. You've got to decide who you are, the one who seeks attention, or the one who builds greatness in silence. I'll tell you something I learned the hard way. People can't sabotage what they can't see. The moment you start telling everyone what you're working on, you open doors for opinions, envy, competition, and even subtle negativity that seeps into your mind. But when you move quietly, nobody knows where to attack. You become unpredictable, unshakable, unstoppable. That's how real power works. Silent, focused, and intentional. Look at nature. The sun doesn't announce when it's about to rise. It just does. The moon doesn't post updates when it's about to glow. It just shines. Water doesn't boast about its strength. It just shapes mountains and carves canyons through time. Power doesn't need to speak. It just acts. So when you stay silent, don't confuse it with hiding. You're not hiding, you're protecting. You're not being mysterious, you're being wise. You're not avoiding people, you're avoiding distractions. Because every time you explain your purpose to someone who doesn't share your vision, you weaken it. Not because they're evil, but because they can't see what you see. Your purpose is too personal, too sacred, too unique for general discussion. That's why even when you succeed, it's better to let your results talk. Let people wonder how you did it. Let them see the outcome, not the outline. The less they know about your process, the more control you keep over your direction. That's how you guard your peace, by refusing to let anyone else write the script of your destiny. Silence also gives you mental space to evolve. Because when you're not constantly explaining your life, you can focus on actually living it. You can experiment, adjust, fail privately, and grow without judgment. You can fall down 7 times and get up 8, and no one even knows. That's freedom. And that's where real confidence is built. Not in showing, but in doing. You see, when you keep your goals private, you don't just protect them from others. You also protect yourself from your own ego. Because sometimes we share what we're doing just to feed our pride. We want people to see how hard we're working, how smart we are, how ambitious we've become. But when you let go of that need for recognition, your focus shifts from performing for others to performing for yourself. And that's when real transformation begins. Your motivation stops being external and becomes internal. You're no longer chasing validation, you're chasing mastery. And mastery, my friend, is born in silence. Every great athlete, artist, or entrepreneur you admire has one thing in common. They worked when nobody was watching. They failed privately. They trained quietly. They bled in silence. And when they showed up, the world called it talent. But it was actually discipline disguised as destiny. That's what happens when you keep your grind private. You surprise everyone, including yourself. Because when you're not wasting time talking about what you're going to do, you have more time to actually do it. Your energy becomes pure action, pure momentum. You become addicted to progress, not applause. And the funny thing is, once you start living that way, you don't even want to talk about your plans anymore. You just want to work. You just want to grow. You just want to win silently and let the world find out when it's too late to doubt you. Remember this: your silence is not weakness, it's strategy. The greatest warriors never announce when they're going to attack. They move unseen, strike fast, and leave impact. Do the same with your goals. Don't tell people what you're doing. Let them see the results and wonder how you did it. Protect your energy like it's gold, because it is. Don't hand it to anyone through unnecessary explanations. Every time you share your vision, you spend energy. Every time you defend your dream, you spend focus. And every time you seek approval, you lose power. Keep your power. Keep your focus. Keep your mouth shut and your work loud. Because one day, when your results finally show, the same people who doubted you will ask for your advice. The same ones who ignored you will start to notice. The same ones who laughed will want to learn. And when that day comes, you won't even need to say, "I told you so." Your success will say it for you, louder than words ever could. There's a phase in every champion's life that nobody talks about. The silent phase. The phase when no one believes in you, when nobody asks how it's going, when it's just you, your grind, and the voice in your head that says, "Keep going." That's the stage where greatness is born. But most people never make it through because they need someone watching. They need someone clapping. They need someone validating their every move. They don't realize that silence is where you find your strength. It's in those quiet, unseen hours when you're tired, uncertain, and tempted to give up. That's where real power is built. When no one's around to applaud you, and yet you keep pushing, that's when you separate yourself from the rest. Because the truth is, success doesn't happen when the world is watching. It happens when the world has no idea what you're doing. You become unstoppable when you no longer need to announce your effort. Think of a volcano. For years it sits quietly, building pressure deep within. People forget it even exists. Then one day, it erupts with a force that changes everything. That's what happens when you build in silence. You store energy. You create momentum. You grow in strength until the day you finally erupt into success. And by then, it's too late for anyone to stop you. But here's what's important. The silence isn't easy. It's lonely. It's frustrating. It makes you question if you're even moving forward. Because when you're quiet about your goals, you don't get external encouragement. And that's exactly why most people fail. They rely on noise to stay motivated, not realizing that real motivation comes from clarity. Silence gives you clarity because it forces you to listen, not to others, but to yourself. You begin to hear your instincts, your purpose, your own inner wisdom. You stop getting lost in the opinions of others. You stop comparing your journey. You stop explaining your direction. You just move, quietly, relentlessly, purposefully. You stop being reactive and become strategic. That's what silence gives you, control. And that control turns into discipline, and discipline turns into dominance. Think about every major success story you know. None of them started with a public announcement. They started with a decision in private. They started with late nights, quiet mornings, and invisible progress. That's the reality of greatness. It grows unseen. Everyone wants the spotlight, but the spotlight belongs to those who prepared in the shadows. The grind nobody saw is what fuels the success everyone talks about later. So, if you're in that silent season right now, don't be discouraged. You're not behind. You're building. You're not invisible. You're incubating. You're not being ignored. You're being prepared. The noise will come later. For now, protect your peace. Because silence doesn't mean you're doing nothing. It means you're doing the most important thing, building your foundation. When you move quietly, you also move faster. You're not waiting for opinions. You're not distracted by comments. You're not explaining your every step. You're just executing. Every minute spent talking about your dream is a minute stolen from actually living it. So turn the talking time into building time. Replace I will with I did. Replace I'm going to with I'm done. That shift in energy changes everything. Because the moment you stop telling and start doing, your entire mindset transforms. You stop performing for approval and start performing for progress. You begin to see results that others don't even know are coming. You become a quiet storm, calm on the surface but powerful beneath. And when your results finally break through, it looks like an overnight success, but you'll know the truth. It took years of silent work. People will say you got lucky, but they didn't see the nights you worked when they slept, the mornings you got up when they quit, the sacrifices you made when they were busy seeking attention. That's why you can't tell people what you do, because they won't understand the price behind your progress. They'll see the glory, but not the grind. They'll see the outcome, but not the process. They'll want the rewards without the repetition. And that's why you keep quiet, because some things can't be explained. They can only be experienced. The truth is, when you stop talking about your plans, you create mystery. And mystery is magnetic. People will start to wonder what you're up to, where you've been, how you're suddenly leveling up. They'll sense something different about you. A quiet confidence, a stillness that only comes from purpose. That's power. Because when people can't read your moves, they can't predict your next step. They can't copy you, they can't block you, they can't stop you. You become unpredictable. And unpredictable people are powerful. You no longer play by the world's noise. You operate by your own rhythm. You start to realize that validation was never the goal. Impact was. And impact doesn't require explanation, it requires execution. So, if you want to rise, learn to move silently. Let your success make the announcement. Let your discipline be your loudest statement. Let your work ethic do the talking. Because when the world finally sees your results, it'll be too late for them to question your potential. They'll have no choice but to respect it. And that's the beauty of silent progress. It turns doubt into shock and shock into admiration. Keep working when nobody's watching. Keep grinding when nobody's asking. Keep believing when nobody's cheering. Because when it's finally time to show the world, your results will speak so loudly that silence will never again be mistaken for weakness. It'll be recognized as the ultimate strength. At some point, you'll realize that silence isn't just a tactic, it's a transformation. It's not about hiding from the world. It's about mastering yourself. It's about reaching a level of peace where you no longer need to convince anyone of anything. You just move. You just act. You just become. Because the truth is, success doesn't need a narrator. The world doesn't respect what you say. It respects what you show. And the reason you must never tell people what you do is because your journey is sacred. It's yours. The moment you open it up to opinions, you invite contamination. You allow noise to enter a space that was meant to stay pure. Your dreams are like glass, beautiful but fragile. And when you share them too soon, you risk them shattering under the weight of other people's expectations. That's why the most powerful thing you can do for your growth is to move in silence and let your success make the noise later. Think about it. When a lion hunts, it doesn't roar before it attacks. It moves quietly, strategically, unseen, and then it strikes. That's how you should operate, not with noise, but with precision. Not with explanations, but with execution. Because every second you spend justifying your purpose is a second stolen from fulfilling it. People will misunderstand you, that's fine. They'll underestimate you, that's perfect. Because when people underestimate you, they don't prepare for your rise. They don't compete at your level. They don't see your next move coming. That's your advantage. You see, silence is a shield, but it's also a weapon. It protects you from negativity and arms you with mystery. And when you finally arrive, it hits harder because no one expected it. That's what makes success so powerful. The element of surprise. Imagine the satisfaction of walking into a room full of people who doubted you, not with words, not with explanations, but with undeniable results. Imagine the power in saying nothing, just smiling, because your success already said everything that needed to be said. That's the moment you realize silence was your greatest investment. You protected your dream long enough for it to grow strong roots. You built something so solid that no opinion, no gossip, no negativity can ever shake it again. But here's the key. Staying silent doesn't mean staying still. You've got to move relentlessly. Silence without action is just stillness. But silence with action, that's momentum. That's the fire that turns invisible progress into visible victory. Every single day, remind yourself, I'm not here to prove. I'm here to improve. I'm not here to announce. I'm here to advance. Because when you live by that mindset, life starts shifting. You begin to attract peace instead of pressure. You stop competing and start creating. You stop explaining your goals and start executing them. And before you know it, you're living the life that others only talk about. People will wonder how you did it. They'll call it luck, timing, destiny. But you'll know it was focus, consistency, and silence. Because silence gives you time, and time gives you power. Every moment you spend quietly working is a brick laid in your foundation. Every step you take unseen is one step closer to being undeniable. You're not missing out by being quiet. You're building something the noise could never create: depth. Real, lasting strength doesn't need attention. It needs commitment. It needs patience. It needs the kind of focus that can't coexist with constant chatter. So from this day on, protect your path. Guard your goals. Keep your circle small, your plans smaller, and your results massive. Let your progress be your proof. Don't tell people what you do. Let them see who you've become. Let them feel your energy change. Let them sense your confidence before you even speak. Because that's what true power feels like: calm, quiet, and certain. It doesn't need to prove. It doesn't need to shout. It doesn't need to convince. It just is. And that's what you're becoming. Unshakable, focused, grounded. You've learned that noise fades, but results echo. So stop trying to be heard and start being remembered. Your silence today is the sound of your legacy being built. Every minute you stay disciplined in private, you're creating a public impact that will outlast every opinion. And here's my challenge to you. For the next 90 days, tell no one what you're working on. No announcements, no hints, no explanations, just work. Every morning, wake up and execute in silence. Every night, reflect in silence. Let the process be between you and your purpose. Don't post it. Don't prove it. Just build it. Watch how your energy shifts. Watch how your confidence grows. Watch how much faster you move when you stop carrying the weight of other people's opinions. Because the truth is, nobody needs to understand what you're doing. They'll understand when it's done. That's the moment that changes everything. You'll look back and realize that the quiet nights, the unseen effort, the lonely grind, that was all preparation for your explosion. So never tell people what you do. Let your silence speak. Let your results roar. Let your success echo so loudly that people feel it without you saying a word. Because that's the art of building a legacy. It's not about talking, it's about transforming. The next time you're tempted to explain your plans, remember this. Lions don't need to explain their hunt, eagles don't describe their flight, and fire doesn't announce when it's about to burn. It just does what it's meant to do. So be like that. Do what you're meant to do, quietly, consistently, powerfully. And one day, when the world finally sees what you've built, they won't just see your success, they'll feel your silence. They'll realize that the loudest person in the room was never the strongest one. The strongest one was the one who was too busy working to talk, too focused to explain, too disciplined to show. So build quietly, rise boldly, and remember forever, never tell people what you do. Let your silence tell the story, and let your results write your legend.